I'm Susan Longstreth. I want to talk with you today. Please do not shoot the messenger on this. I know it's August. I know people are still going to the beach. Where I live, we don't go to the beach. We go down the shore with Aunt Mary Pat. Separate story. Okay, but this is the time that we need to be thinking about winter for those of us who go down a bit and either have full-on seasonal affective disorder or just feel lower, less energetic, less happy, merry, and bouncy in the wintertime. As my aunt would say, in times of peace, prepare for war. So, easy things to do. Number one easy thing to do is if you really do struggle and the days are short and dark where you are, purchase a light box. I'm going to show you mine, and it's big and ungainly, but it looks like this. And what you do is sit in front of it for 20 minutes or so, ideally in the morning when you wake up. It mimics the intensity of the light, and you can therefore do the magic where it helps set your circadian rhythm and whatever else it does without going outside if it is miserable weather or super short days. I bought mine so long ago that I don't really know how to guide you in terms of what to purchase. What I will say is my memory is it's about the intensity of the lux, which is, I need somebody scientific-y to explain it better, but the degree of intensity coming from it. Mine looks like it is made by Alaska Northern Lights. And mine says model North Star 10,000 2-lamp unit. And that's all I see that would be helpful. But, find your own. And then in terms of how to use it, I found that it was kind of a pain in the rear to allocate a whole 20 minutes to sit there. And I just couldn't do it, or I chose not to do it because I wanted to get out the door on time. So what I started doing is just putting it in the kitchen so that it would shine, and it glares this most obnoxious fluorescent-y, glaring, you don't want to deal with it kind of light. You are supposed to have it come sort of up from the bottom. So it is not a bad idea to put it on the floor and then just go about your business. If you wear glasses, you're going to need to do this because the light hits your eyes. My understanding is the pineal gland is somewhere back in here, and that's really the mechanism by which it's working its magic. So that is one thing that people who are afraid of winter can do. The other thing that I was thinking of, if you have moved, if you need to find new providers, a new psychiatrist, a new psychiatric nurse practitioner, a new therapist, because not all therapists are okay with practicing across state lines if they're not licensed in the state that you may have moved to. I would argue that now, when you're feeling okay, is the time to do that. Now is the time to go shopping for your providers. You can even say, I'm just fine right now. I don't need a thing. I want to get in while I still feel good before I go south and just have my ducks in a row. That was no pun intended. I didn't plan that one, but ducks, once upon a duck. Because as we all know, the moment where you're feeling awful and you're really struggling, that is not the time when it's easy to do the research, pick up the phone, deal with who is or isn't going to call you back, who does or doesn't have openings, and try to figure out, do I even feel comfortable with this person? So get on it now, because it is mid-August. It's August the 17th, I think, which means August, September, October, November, December. We are 4 months away from the deepest, darkest days of winter. Sidebar, Lindsay Clancy hit her lowest point in January in Massachusetts. Did anybody suggest to that woman sit in front of a light box? I'm not saying it would have solved all of her problems. I'm saying add it to the very long, comprehensive, thorough list of things that I see that could have been done with her that weren't. Okay, so we've covered the light box. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I pulled out a few of the supplements that I take for brain health. I could not bring out all my supplements because that would require a wheelbarrow at least. But in the brain health department, we have the mood boosting probiotic. I am not affiliated with them whatsoever, but it has in it the probiotic blend B. longum. These are the names of the probiotic strains: B. infantis, B. lactis, L. brevis, et cetera, et cetera. These are the ones that in rats in laboratory settings boosted their mood, lowered their anxiety. So, in my opinion, it is the can't hurt, might help category of things. I think a lot of people think it is, well, what impact could probiotics have? They don't sound nearly as powerful as, say, a drug. What I would put on your radar is a study in which, disgusting subject matter for the morning, fecal transplants were done. And fecal transplants from individuals who had been diagnosed with schizophrenia were put into non-schizophrenic individuals who promptly developed those symptoms. It was also done the other way, that fecal transplants from people without a schizophrenic diagnosis helped bring people with a schizophrenic diagnosis back into the range of behavior that we call normal, which I would argue is very arbitrary, but no matter. All right, so we've got the lifted probiotic, and the other one that I brought out, lithium orotate. This is in drops, liquid form. However, it does come in capsule form as well. Lithium orotate is found in spring water, and in areas of the country that have a naturally higher content of lithium in the drinking water, they find that depression rates are lower, suicide rates are lower, homicide rates are lower. Personally, I would never advise anybody. I'm going to retract that. It's not my job to prescribe or to tell anybody what to take or not to take. What I would point out is that lithium carbonate is the pharmaceutical version that most psychiatrists or psychiatric nurse practitioners would be willing to prescribe. The differences are severalfold. Number one, the name, lithium orotate versus lithium carbonate. Number two, where you get it. This is purchased on Amazon, in any health food store, vitamin shop. I'm blanking on the other names, Vitacost. Lithium carbonate, you need to get the prescription, you need to go to a pharmacy, you need to fill it that way. The other difference, and this is really the important part, is the bioavailability. Orotate crosses the blood-brain barrier, which is what we need it to do, with ease. Therefore, I don't have to take a whole lot, a couple drops, and I'm good. Carbonate does not cross the blood-brain barrier very well. Because of that, the dose needs to be this much in order to get this much benefit. That's okay for an awful lot of people. It is okay for 2/3 of people who take it long term. The other 1/3 of people who take it long term, and sadly my mother, Louise, was in this bucket, are going to develop irreversible kidney failure, or rather irreversible if you stay within a conventional medicine framework. I'm pretty sure at this point almost nothing is irreversible if you go into the alternative stuff. So at any rate, a lot of psychiatrists don't know about it, don't know that much about it. They may have an impression that it is a weaker product or that it can't possibly do the same thing because it's available over the counter. I'm guessing that is likely a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding shaped in part by the fact that the pharmaceutical industry provides 65% of the funding for medical schools in the United States. Do not take my word for it on that one. That one comes right from Harvard, who put out an article called Deal with the Devil. So naturally, doctors aren't going to be as familiar with the products that do not come from a pharmaceutical industry. All right, so I wanted to put both of those supplements for brain health on your radar. We talked about the lightbox. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and then it's going to start raining on me, is that Liam, who is my co-host and partner in crime, is in France. So we have missed several of the weekly MAHA meetings, which are every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We usually do a simulcast of those, and as I said, have missed a few weeks. However, Liam is very excited because he handles all the tech stuff. I have no knowledge or interest in any of that. And he was able to stream live to various platforms LinkedIn and TikTok and YouTube and whatever else from France, which he said would not have been possible even a few years ago. So he thinks he might have himself in gear that with him in France, me here outside of Philadelphia, and Maha happening wherever they happen, that we can do our Barefoot Foot Royal podcast, no, simulcast this week. So I would love to have you join us. You are always welcome to participate in the chat. Love to get people's comments. People write in all kinds of interesting things that typically I don't know about. So anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. The ducks, Once Upon a Duck, suicide prevention for children, onceuponaduck.substack.com, and also on Instagram, Once Upon Those Ducklings. All right, have a lovely day. May the ducks be with you, as my nephew says to me, and goodbye.